Have you ever felt? There's something bigger guiding you. In a world bursting with mysteries and unrealized potential, there is a presence subtle yet profound that transcends human understanding. It doesn't just surround us, it flows through us, guiding every breath and intention, whether we realize it or not. Imagine an invisible field of energy quietly linking every person, particle, and planet in existence, an intricate web of wisdom that whispers truth into every corner of creation. At the center of each human life pulses a sacred energy we call the soul. This isn't some abstract concept, it's the very engine of your consciousness. It's what enables your thoughts, fuels your intuition, and breathes meaning into every decision you make. It is your spiritual fingerprint, the invisible fire that makes you, you. Some call it God, others call it the Holy Spirit. Some speak of divine intelligence, but whatever the name, this sacred energy exists within everything. It animates the trees, it flows through oceans, it speaks in dreams, and it longs to be known through you. But here's the truth. We each have a choice. We can lean into this divine intelligence, allow it to shape our lives, and live in alignment with a truth greater than ourselves. Or we can turn away. We can live from the surface of life, reactive, distracted, disconnected, caught in the illusions taught by fear and limited beliefs. When we do this, life becomes a performance, not a presence. But what if you could break that illusion? What if connecting with divine intelligence wasn't some mystical experience reserved for monks and sages, but a daily reality? What if it was as real as your next breath? Because it is. When you open your heart to this sacred energy, your personal world begins to shift, and so does the world around you. This connection isn't just about spiritual enlightenment, it's about spiritual growth. A transformation that rewires the soul and awakens your highest potential. You begin to see life not as random events, but as sacred messages. You begin to feel the divine in the ordinary. You begin to trust even in chaos. Since the beginning of time, humans have sought to understand this force. Some have glimpsed its majesty, others have devoted lifetimes to its mystery, and yet no one fully understands it because it's not something to figure out. It's something to feel, to receive, to live. Ask yourself, this has your standard of living become simply the absence of suffering? Are you merely relieved that nothing's going wrong today? What if instead you saw every challenge as a divine nudge? What if every ordinary moment was actually an invitation to the miraculous? That's not fantasy. That's divine reality. And here's the most breathtaking part. Divine intelligence doesn't just want you to survive. It longs for your joy. It desires your abundance not just in material things, but in spirit, in peace, in purpose. But this isn't just about abundance, it's about alignment. It's about those sacred moments when you feel deeply connected, like you're held by something greater. You've felt them before, haven't you? In nature, in love, in silence. But too often, those moments pass, and the illusion returns. So here's a question worth living into. What if the sacred wasn't rare? What if your life could be filled with moments like that? Daily, naturally, beautifully. What if what we once called miraculous was simply a glimpse of our true design? The truth is, the enchantment never really left. We just stopped noticing. And once you remember how to feel that divine current again, how to trust it, how to live from it, that's when the true magic begins. Because the power behind all sacred transformation is the energy of divine intelligence, and it's already within you. Your energy is a prayer. Are you aware of what you're sending out? The divine current that flows through our lives is not just a mystical force. It is meant to be noticed, felt, embraced. It's not enough to merely be moved by it. We are invited to recognize its impact in the small moments day after day, breath by breath. Living a sacred life begins with this conscious awareness. It begins with honoring the invisible dance between our energy and the energy of the divine, and choosing again and again to participate. This is what energy magic is all about. It's not about rituals or superstition. It's about relationship. It's about actively tuning in to the universal symphony that surrounds us and choosing to play our part in its sacred music. Every choice, every thought, every emotion is a note. And when you align with divine intelligence, you begin to harmonize with something far greater than yourself. In their book, Energy Magic, Katrina and Eric Rasbold call this sacred interaction. Bio-universal energy, a fusion between our personal life force and divine energy. Bio speaks to the living, breathing spirit within us. Universal reminds us that this force reaches beyond the boundaries of logic or religion. It is God, the universe, the creator. Whatever name speaks to your soul. Bio-universal energy is the fuel. Energy magic is the art of using that fuel wisely. And here's the beautiful truth. It's not reserved for gurus or monks. It doesn't belong to one path or one belief system. This connection is yours to cultivate. It's intimate, personal. A sacred bridge between you and the divine and no one else. But to walk this path, we must unlearn. We must reawaken our spirit to do what it once knew so naturally, to commune with the Creator. When we speak of magic here, it's not illusion or trickery. It's the realignment of your energy with divine energy to bring healing, clarity, and transformation into your life. The more you say yes to this awareness, the more life opens up. You don't need a manual. You just need to remember, and you can see it everywhere in those moments of quiet clarity, in stories of healing, in synchronicities that defy logic. It happens to people from all walks of life. People like you. Yes, we live in a fast-paced world that demands productivity, conformity, and surface-level peace. We're constantly being told to keep our heads down, meet deadlines, and live what society calls a normal life. But sacredness isn't reserved for monasteries or mountaintops. It can exist in the kitchen, in traffic, during Zoom meetings. The sacred is wherever you are fully present with divine intelligence. That's where meditation comes in, not as an escape, but as a return to stillness, clarity, and spiritual alignment in the middle of everyday chaos. It's how we begin to see life not as something happening to us, but as something happening for us. Even difficult moments become divine messages. Even delays carry direction. And here's something to ponder. Every one of us carries an invisible halo, an energy field often called the aura. Though we can't see it with our eyes, it can be felt. This aura is the electromagnetic fingerprint of your soul. It reflects your mental, emotional, and spiritual state and radiates your essence into the world around you. You've felt it, haven't you? That unexplained warmth around someone who feels safe. That strange discomfort when someone else enters the room. That's energy. That's the aura in action. Your energy is always speaking whether or not you're aware of it. Mystics through the ages have seen and interpreted these fields, claiming that they change color and intensity based on your inner state. But you don't have to be a mystic to sense the truth. We're all connected, and our energy affects everything around us. So ask yourself, what kind of energy are you radiating today? What are you feeding into the field? Are you walking through life unconsciously, or are you choosing moment by moment to be a vessel for sacred presence? Because when you do, life becomes magic. Your aura is a gateway. Are you tuning in or tuning out? Your aura isn't just a mystical concept or spiritual metaphor. It's an energetic reality, a subtle expression of your soul's presence. In many spiritual traditions, the aura is believed to be the bridge between the human and the divine. It's the shimmer of consciousness that connects your physical body to higher realms of intelligence, to what some call God, others, divine source, or even the divine matrix that binds all of creation. Think of it like this. Your aura is the signal your soul sends out into the universe. And in return, it receives divine insight, healing energy, and intuitive guidance if the channel is clear. This connection isn't abstract. It lives within you, around you, and through you. Imagine the entire universe as a vast ocean of living energy. Every soul, every tree, every planet floats in this sea. Through your aura, you don't just float, you communicate. You tune into the pulse of the cosmos, and that tuning shapes your experience of life, purpose, and peace. So how do you sharpen this connection? The answer is surprisingly simple. Devotion, not to a deity on a throne or a distant concept, but to presence, to mindfulness, to stillness, to love. Practices like meditation, conscious breathing, and intentional living are not just tools for stress relief. They are rituals of remembrance. With every breath, you begin to purify your energy fields. With every moment of awareness, you strengthen the signal between you and the divine. Your aura becomes clearer, more vibrant, more alive. And when that happens, something incredible begins to unfold. You remember who you are, not just as a name or a title or a body, but as a soul designed for communion with the sacred. This isn't a new idea. Thousands of years ago, the Emerald Tablet, a mystical text attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, summed it up in one timeless line, "As above, so below. As within, so without." In other words, your inner world creates your outer world. This principle, known as the law of correspondence, teaches that the universe is not separate from us. What we think, feel, and believe inside is mirrored in our relationships, our health, our circumstances. When we carry fear, we tend to attract more of it. When we cultivate love, we begin to live in harmony. It's not magic. It's alignment. Modern science is beginning to catch up with what mystics have always known. Neuroscience and psychology are now uncovering how our mental and emotional states influence our physical health, our behavior, even our future. Your thoughts create neural pathways. Your emotions shape your body. Chemistry. Your beliefs alter your perception and therefore your experience. What does this mean for you? It means that your power doesn't lie out there. It lies within. You have more control over your life than you've been told. Not through force or fear, but through awareness, healing, and spiritual responsibility. When you honor your inner world, you shape the outer one. When you tend to your energy, the world responds. So maybe the question isn't, is the universe listening? Maybe the question is, am I in tune enough to hear what it's whispering back? And so the timeless truth whispered in the phrase, "As above, so below, as within, so without," invites us into a deeper understanding that real change, lasting soul-rooted change, begins from within. When we tend to the garden of our inner world with care, compassion, and presence, the external world begins to shift in response. Not always instantly, not always dramatically, but undeniably. You may begin to notice it in the smallest ways, in how you breathe through conflict, how you soften in moments of stress, how you feel a subtle glow of peace where once there was anxiety. These aren't coincidences. They are signs that you're touching something ancient, and divine inside you, something that's been waiting all along to be remembered. And with each choice to stay aware, to stay aligned, you shape not only your reality but the path ahead. What if your next breakthrough isn't out there but waiting in the quiet stillness within? What dreams might unfold? What healing might begin? What kind of world could we create together if each of us lived in resonance with the divine that lives within? The journey is yours. The invitation is open. If this message spoke to your soul today, let us know in the comments by writing, "It made sense to me. Your voice matters, and your energy makes a difference far beyond what you can see."